Hi, I'm Mike Hamilton. I'm at Lithia Toyota Reading, and behind me, I'm featuring a 2021 Toyota 4Runner Venture Edition. I'll be right back. Back in 2020, Toyota came up with a new trim package called the Venture Edition. The Venture Edition is the most off-road capable vehicle, just behind the TRD Pro and also the TRD Off-Road. But this is actually the closest in package what the equipment you get to a TRD Pro. We have the same physical gear shifter as a TRD Pro. We have the same hood scoop as a TRD Pro. We have TRD wheels on it that aren't the TRD Pro, but they look very close. This has a kinetic dynamic suspension system on this one here. And this thing has also the crawl controls that the TRD Pro has available to it. Also, looking at the front here, this will get the black badge overlay, being this is the Venture Edition. Toyota's doing a few extra things to it. Unlike the TRD Pro, you still have the Toyota logo instead of the Toyota across the front of the grille there. Below here is where we have our Toyota Safety Sense. It's a little bit lower on this vehicle because of how high it is off the ground, so it hits the back of a vehicle that's in front of it, so it will have smart stop and also adaptive cruise control. Headlights improved in 2020 to LED headlights for high beams, low beams, and also for your fog lights on here. Let's go ahead and go up to the top here, and again you get the hood scoop just like the TRD Pro. It is faux, just for looks. It doesn't do anything else other than that. And then we have Toyota Safety Sense in the windshield there. That is the camera system that sees the lines in a row for lane departure, and also uses that for the adaptive cruise control and the smart stop that picks up pedestrians and cyclists. And up on top, this is what makes it also a Venture Edition. You get the Yakima basket rack on top of that. Let's continue on. And we're going to go off to the side here, and this is those TRD wheels. Again, these aren't exactly the same type of TRD wheels we'll see on the TRD Pro. They're slightly different on the TRD Pros, but again, you could get this for about $4,000 to $5,000 less than a TRD Pro and have pretty much the same vehicle. We have black mirror caps on here, and even these little things here, it's unbelievable, but this is wind vortex generators. There's another one here. This helps clean up the bad air and scrub that off the vehicle. Let's continue on to the side here, and we have black handles on here, and it has a proximity key. So proximity key looks like this here. It's just a basic key. Here on the side profile here, you see we have running boards on there. These are not my favorite. They're plastic. There is one called a Predator 2-step that I like quite a bit better. We also have black handles with proximity key on here. So we have the key, it looks like this here, and Toyota logos on the back. If I want to come up and lock this door, there's 2 notches on the handle here. All I have to do is touch these notches. I lock the vehicle. If I want to unlock it, put my hand on the door, and that unlocks it. Very simple. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. So we have the soft tex synthetic leather with the red stitching on here, and then that's throughout the door. And then we got some polished plastics on here and some nice materials. Some of the things I don't like about this here is this is not a soft touch dash. Toyota's next generation, I think they need to improve that. This current generation has been around since 2010, although there's been a couple facelifts recently. They just increased the size of the infotainment screen to an 8.1 inch from a dinky little 6 inch, and also the definition of the screen got better. I will go over that when we get inside. Let's look down, and there's that physical gear shifter for 4-wheel high and 4-wheel low. It also has rear differential lock. We have multi-stage heated seats on here, and then they do this faux carbon fiber here just to kind of put everything there. Leather trimmed gear shifter, again leather trimmed steering wheel, other things like that. And then you have the TRD embroidered into the headrest on here. Let's take a look at the Monroney sticker or window sticker. So for people that don't know what the real name is, this is called a Monroney sticker. This comes from a senator in the 40s, I believe, that made this law to, like, for manufacturers advertise exactly what's on the vehicle, fuel economy, price, safety ratings, and all those things that have come into effect. Again, we have a 4Runner 4x4 Venture Edition built off the TRD off-road trim package, and then the extras are added onto this one. This has KDSS suspension on here. We have got some running boards, and there's a couple of the options. These, I don't know this one particular, but I think you could get a moonroof sunroof added to the Venture Edition. It is an optional option in the TRD off-road packages. You could have it one with or without. There's a head height clearance on these things, so a lot of people don't like them because it lowers the ceiling, especially if you're taller. Like me, it kind of shrinks your head space, but if somewhere around that 6'4" to 6'6" range, you might be a bit too tall for one of these with the moonroof sunroof in it, because it drops down that ceiling a couple inches. We do have LED tail lights on this here, and again, they're continuing that black theme again for this Venture Edition with the logo and the 4Runner in the back. This is Class 4 tow, and it tows up to 5,000 pounds. It has 7 and 4 pin plugs on it. You do need to put a trailer brake for it. It doesn't come automatically with one. And then here's your one backup camera, the little fisheye there. Let's go ahead and open up the tailgate. And in the back here, there is no TRD level, including the Venture. Base it's off with the TRD. That has a third row. You can only get 3 rows in the SR5, the SR5 Premium, and the Limited. So the only available third row options to a 4Runner. This one has been equipped with all-weather floor mats. This way my new car manager preferences it. The all-weather cargo liner on here, a first aid kit, and a cargo net holder. They will come with this 400-watt power inverter and a 12-volt power port in the back. These back seats will fold to close to flat. A lot of people like to camp in them. Also, there's people that like to do a tent on the rooftop there too. That is something that's pretty popular now. Let's continue over to the driver's side. We have our fuel door that's on the driver's side. No release from the inside. It's just a manual to open it up. And then again, moving into the back seat, let me show you some of the features here. So you get holders for stuff in the back for both seats here. We have air vents, but no air controls. We have a center armrest with 2 cup holders. We do have 2 USB ports, no USB-C in there. Another bottle holder or so in the door with some storage in the door. And even with my seat all the way back for me, which I'm 6'2", I still have plenty of leg space here for my knees, and not a problem at all. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top here real quick. One thing that's going to change going into the next model year, 2022, they will have blind spot monitors in some of the models. So they have never put blind spots in the 4Runner. I've heard through the grapevine we will get blind spot monitors. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the driver's door again. We got our Softex leather here with the red stitching, basically a couple bottle holders and some storage down below. And then we have our power windows, power mirrors, power locks. Going over to the dash, this is where we have some of our extra features. We have heated windshield wipers for snow and ice. This is the power inverter when it's running to turn that on. We have our mirrors right here, and then we have our auto dimming high beam, so that's available. We do have a more adjustable 8-way power seat with power lumbar support on the driver's side. It's only 4-way power on the other side without power lumbar support, but it is dual power with dual front heated seats available to this trim. Let's take a good look at the steering wheel here. Leather wrapped. You have all your controls. You have your push to talk that you could use for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We have our modes for radio, volume controls here, pick up and hang up for our cell phone. We have our toggle that's going to be for the driver's information center. I will be going over that. And then you have your lane departure alert and your adaptive cruise control buttons on the steering wheel too. Starting the vehicle is very simple. We have a push start, so a foot on the brake. Push the button, starts right up. Kind of welcomes you. Gives you this little 4Runner thingy there. And then this here is the information screen. This has the digital miles per hour, digital fuel mileage are on here. And we come on down here, fuel economy. It's got 3 miles on it, so it has no fuel economy. Miles to empty. This is your eco range to see if you're staying within the best fuel economy. Let me get that screen up there so you can see that a lot better. That's better. And then we have one more screen down here. There's your digital miles an hour. Sway warning for resting. If you get tired, it will tell you to take a break. Coming over to the next screen, this has our steering angles for off-roading. Our PSI for our wheels. Compass coordinates are on here. And audio is off right now. I'm going to get you your audio information. Your lane departure and adaptive cruise control. Doing adaptive cruise control, there's a toggle down here to set the cruise, and adaptive is this button here. 3 bars of blue bars mean 3 seconds of pacing behind the slower vehicle, and you got 2.5 seconds and 2 seconds of pacing. Let's go over to the next screen. Let me back arrow out. Then you have the no messages. If there was an issue with this car, it's going to tell you what's wrong with it. From just even having the door open, it's going to give you that information. To actual problems with the vehicle, will tell you that. Last one is your Toyota Safety Sense. Very archaic. They need to upgrade this badly, and I'm sure this will be addressed when they do the rebuild. It looks like 2024 probably will be the next generation of 4Runner from what I'm hearing. Let's back out the camera just a little bit. We can see the rest of the gauges. We have analog tachometer, temperature gauge, fuel gauge, and speedometer are all in analog here available. Let's continue on. We have our audio here. So we have what's called a 3-panel screen here. So this gives you the source of your radio you're on when your phone's connected. This is the Toyota way of being in here. And then you have integrated maps on this, along with connected maps like Waze maps you could use your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Also Google Maps is available. No more hard chip in the maps like they had in the old days. This is satellite updated, so no longer need to do anything, but you have already integrated maps on here. We have the menu screen here, which will give you your different apps. Project is where the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto comes through. We have more information on here. We got notification for Wi-Fi hotspot, remote connect, and other notifications available. Let's get back into the menu here. We got more information. We get our economy on here, traffic and weather updates where available. Most markets that are metros will have this. If you're in a rural area, this may not work. We didn't have this until a recent amount of time, which I'm not sure. I just found out it was working one day, but for years we never had it. It never worked. So that's something that you may or may not have depending on the market you're in. Emergency flashers up here, clocks up here. We got air vents down below, and then something Toyota's done for many years is these big silver knobs. You have air controls, very easy to use, and then so fan speeds on this side, temperature ranges on this side, fan flows on this side, heated mirrors and rear defrost on this side, inside outside air. Down below here we have our primary USB port. This is the USB port that will port in the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There is a wireless thing on for Apple CarPlay called a dongle that you could connect to that to make your Apple CarPlay wireless until Toyota just gets to the point where they're doing wireless CarPlay. We have that only in the Supra because the technology in the Supra is from BMW. Let's continue on. This is our physical gear shifter, the last of the Mohicans. Every one of the other ones just has a electronic shifter knob, but we still have a physical high and for 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. This is not the better TRD shifter. Sometimes these will come with a TRD shifter, just like the TRD Pros, but this one does not have that. It is a 4.0 V6 paired to a 5-speed transmission. That should improve quite a bit in the next generation. We have our multi-stage heated seats available on here, and then this is our rear window slider. This is proprietary to Toyota, so you could get that in a Tundra Crew Max. The Sequoia has that, and the 4Runner. So let me demonstrate that. So we turn the camera around here and push the button, and we get that. And so that's real nice for the puppies, especially if you got a moonroof, sunroof, and all your windows down. That open kind of brings outside in, sort of like a Jeep Wrangler in a way. Continuing up top here, we have sun visors with lighted vanity mirrors, LED lights. To become more modern would be nice, but that's an easy fix. We have the sun visors with the shade extenders are available on this here. We have our auto dimming rear view mirror on here, and this is what makes this vehicle special for its crawl control mode. So basically cruise control for off-roading is what this kind of really is. And then you have your rear diff lock, or A-track, is like basically a way for this vehicle to get through slick surfaces like mud, snow. It basically breaks the wheel at different times and just makes its way through that stuff. And then we have our garage door memory sets on here. One more button on here. This is the SOS button, and I like to call that Toyota OnStar. It does emergency services, so if you were ever in an accident where airbags deployed, a lot of times a phone will just fly away and you won't know exactly where it's at. You have that button to call for emergencies. Also, when this thing's registered and the airbags deploy, they'll be calling you. If there's no response, they'll be able to know GPS coordinates of where you're at, how fast you're going at the time of accident. That will give vital information to emergency responders. It also has trial services for a stolen vehicle locator, and roadside assistance lasts for a year on this too. And you could get basic tech support through this system too. One of the best things I like about a 4Runner, well, the best thing ever, is its resale. 4Runners virtually lose no money. So I've had customers recently selling back and trading them in and getting all their money, or very close to all their money they paid for them. The best resale vehicle of the SUV, of any SUV, and one of the top of all vehicles in resale overall is this 4Runner. It again, I'm seeing like 2- and 3-year-olds that are virtually getting all their money back. Legendary reliability. You can't beat the reliability of a 4Runner. Also, I think for its combination, I think it's the best combination of both being a good off-road vehicle right out of the box and a good daily driver at the same time. Wranglers don't have as much adjustability for seating, especially for the driver if they're taller. And also too, when we're talking about Wranglers, a lot of people are thinking of them after someone has spent 10 grand in mods on them to make them into the really off-road kings they are. They still are the best off-road vehicle. A 4Runner ain't very much behind that. But if you take a stock one versus a stock Wrangler versus a stock 4Runner, they're fairly close in capabilities. You know, some of the like Rubicons have twin lockers and other things that will beat this vehicle. But take that thing on a long trip, like we live in far northern California, going down to Southern California. If you may not be happy in a Wrangler, a lot of them get traded in, and people buy 4Runners just for that reason. But anyways, that's what I like about this vehicle, is it's really comfortable to drive. It's a good daily driver. And then if you want to go you know, light to moderate off-roading. It's just ready to go right out of the box without adding lifts and more aggressive wheels and more stuff to it, and more, you know, skid plates and other things that you would do, rock sliders and those things. So anyways, thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.